Hello, everyone. Andrew Taylor here. Today we have Austin Jones and Claude Perry with us. Claude, why'd you want us to bring Austin in?
He is the funniest man alive. No, on a serious note, man, this is my brother, man, my guy. So, I've known him for like a year now, but he told me no for a year. I know.
Dude, you're the king of follow-up.
Have to be.
Is he relentless trying to recruit you?
What's crazy, Clyde recruited me by not recruiting me. Yeah, so he was recruiting me at first, and, I was like, no, resistance, right? Don't want to be recruited. Sales guy, you can't sell me. That's basically was my mentality. And we just grew a relationship, really. And it got to a point to where Claude was helping me at my practice company more than people at my practice company. And I was like, I'm not even working with him.
What were you trying to do at your practice company that he was helping you with?
Really just grow my agency and really just scale my business, right? And he was teaching me things. Like, one of the first things he was like, okay, well, how do you keep customers on the book? And I was like, man, I don't really have a game plan for that. Oh, well, try this. I was like,
How'd you guys meet in the first place?
So one of my recruiters gave him a call. And he was telling her no on the phone like 10 minutes straight. I'm like, give me the phone. He was good at it though. You're like, no, I'm good, bro. I'm making money. I'm doing good. He was the ultimate me. That's somewhere he was like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm fine. You should come here. You should come here, my company, man.
Yeah. I tried to recruit his recruiter. I was like, you're really good. You should come work with me. And she just threw him the phone.
Isn't it funny, though? Everybody's deal to them is the best deal on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like parents and their kids in sports. Every parent thinks their kid's really good. But how? But
I don't know about
But how
that.
far off are you though, right?
Some parents think their kids suck. Every parent probably thinks their kid's better than they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now the key is how much are you off? Because every company is good to an extent because you're there.
And there are people making money.
Absolutely. And that was my thing. I was making money. My family, we were good financially. It changed our life, right? So it's like, oh, man, this changed my life. I can't look for anything else. And so that was my resistance. Like, I'm good.
And where do you live?
In Nashville, Tennessee.
And we already discovered you like country music.
Love country music. It's my favorite.
Do you go to live country music?
Never.
You don't? Is that a thing really in Nashville that happens a lot?
Oh, yeah. All the time. Nashville is country.
It's like
music.
Vegas out there.
It's like the home of country, isn't it?
Yeah. It's literally like Vegas.
That's where Taylor
but country
Swift's
music.
from, right?
Yeah.
You a Taylor Swift fan?
Love Taylor Swift.
I do
22,
too.
that was my favorite song.
So
He's not capping. He didn't know who that is.
Taylor Swift, yeah.
You don't, bro.
I think I heard her before.
True story, okay? I haven't told anybody this. I named my dog Taylor Swift. This was like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago. I named the dog Taylor Swift. When I started dating Nicole, she was like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Change the name.
But I was listening to Taylor Swift when I picked up the dog.
That is funny. Yeah, 22, that was my number in basketball. So when she came up with the song 22, I was like, oh, yeah.
No capping, huh?
Vibing.
That's what's
Taylor
up.
Swift. She's
All
nice.
right.
Look her up.
Download.
Bro, you want to talk about business? She's killing life. Business world. And you do not catch her messing up.
No.
Ever, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen some crazy things she's done?
Never.
Nothing.
Yeah. She's good about that. It's like LeBron. Like, you never hear him in the news doing
You're
anything.
not catching him smoking weed or doing nothing ever. It's always clean.
Yeah.
Impressive. Okay, so you were making how much?
First year there, I made $200,000, and I was on track to make about $300,000 this year. So that was my first thing. I was like,
And how long did it take you to do that?
I was there for a year and a half. So yeah, first year, $200,000. Second year, I was on track to make about $300,000.
And what'd you do before that?
I was in the restaurant industry.
Doing what?
General manager. Yep. I was at Waffle House.
Nice. Someone was just telling me they want to buy something from Waffle House. Maybe it was the pancake machine or something.
The waffle.
The waffle machine?
Waffle maker.
Oh, they want to buy the waffle maker?
Yeah. Yeah, the waffles are fire. You never had
I've
Waffle
only
House?
been there one time. Have you been there?
Yeah, we actually went in Tennessee, and he knew all like the right things to tell the guy, like don't do this, don't do that. But yep, I want what he said.
Don't they have some bread or something that's really good too?
Texas toast is good.
Oh yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, but that was.
There's no Waffle House. Is there Waffle Houses in Vegas? No.
No, I think it's like
No.
on the
East
Coast.
Coast only.
Yeah, I've never seen one out
They have
Or
one in
California.
LA.
or in LA.
Oh, they do.
Isn't that like in LA, like Waffle House?
I don't know. I don't think they come out this way.
No,
No.
that's Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and that was crazy. It's 24 hours, so you're the only manager.
And you were managing everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And then what made you want to get out of that into insurance?
My brother, actually, he encouraged me. He was like, man, with the goals you have, the money you want to make, I would suggest you get in sales, right? So just trying to find something that would make sense for me. And looked into the insurance industry. I have a cousin. She was in the insurance industry, so I called her. I'm like, hey, do people really make this type of money in insurance? And she was like, you can, for sure. So I took my test.
Did she say a lot of people don't, though?
Yes. She was like, it's up to you. And I like that because
That's what I liked.
yeah, being a former athlete, right? It's like I was always chasing something that if I put the work in, I get rewarded. So that's what I was always looking for. So if I can bet on myself, I'm going to do that every single time.
So when I first started, somebody said the people that are good, because I was asking around,
Right.
should I sell insurance? And somebody goes, the people that are good make a lot of money. Most people don't make anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was like a challenge.
And you had no sales experience at all.
None. But I just knew I was looking for something where it wasn't even for everybody. Because at the grocery store, dude, I was a good worker. Never called in sick. Never late. Did my job.
Right.
Did more than I should have. And a lot of people never did nothing. I made the same amount.
Exactly.
They just showed up, moped around, didn't do anything. You know?
Yeah.
So I was looking for something that wasn't even, where I could get what I deserve based off of the work I put in.
Absolutely.
Which is cool. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Did you play sports?
I played a little bit in high school, and
What'd you
that's
play?
it. Basketball, football.
I seen that picture on your IG, man. I didn't know you hooped. You hooped. I said, okay, he actually hooped as a kid, AAU and everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so you're pretty
I was
good.
at
man.
Staples Center, bro.
Okay.
You see that?
I seen that picture. I was like, okay, you actually hooped then. Okay, because everyone plays sports. But you actually played.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I loved playing. It was fun. When I was 16, I got a job instead of playing sports, so I could get a cell phone and a car. And it worked out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out.
Now, one thing, going back to sports, though, I love this because it is a sport to me.
Mhm.
Do you feel like that?
Absolutely. Every day. Every day. I was just talking to a guy about that, and he was like, what pushes you? Obviously, I have a family, wife, 2 beautiful children. But I think that grind, of every day is a new day. How much better can I get? I'm a huge Kobe fan, so next win, that's always his mentality, right? So I kind of have been able to bring that over here, and that's why I love it.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
3 and 4,
Boy or girl?
a girl and boy.
Older boy or
Girl.
Older girl?
Yeah.
That's fun, right?
It is. I wanted a boy first because I was like, I want him to be the protector, right? But, my daughter, she's tough, so I'm not worried.
Yeah. I think I underestimated having kids, how cool it is to make good money and be able to control your schedule. Have you felt that at all?
Absolutely. For, like I said, Waffle House, I was working, it's 24 hours. You're the only manager. If the cook, he calls in and says he's quitting, he doesn't want to work in the middle of the night, you got to get up and go. So I had my daughter was young. So to be able to have that luxury of, hey, my daughter, it's a swim class, I can go, that luxury, but also to be able to give her 10 times, 30 times better life than what I had. And I had a pretty good life growing up, but to be able to give her a much better life, give my son a much better life, that's everything to me.
Yeah, but not have to go, hey, you got to go to work tonight, and because you make your own schedule.
Exactly.
Do you think making your own schedule can be a blessing and a curse?
Absolutely. And
Why?
I always tell people that because when you make your own schedule, right, you don't have anybody, a boss that's telling you, hey, you have to be here from 7 to 5. You make your own schedule. It's a lot easier to, I just want to rest. I'm not going to do that. I take the day off. But that's the hard part about doing what we do is that discipline. But when you get that discipline, you gain that consistency, the sky's the limit.
So back to the sports analogy.
Mhm.
When we're building an agency, everybody's working together. Does that remind you of playing basketball?
100%. Yeah, I'm a team guy. I like to see everybody win. I also always look for somebody that I can kind of compete with, right? So that's why anytime we do anything team, I'm always there. I'm always
Healthy
participating.
competition.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good motivator. What happens if you got a bad apple on the team in basketball?
Well, you try to help them, right? But you can only help somebody that wants to help. So if they don't want the help, this isn't the right team for you.
But can they mess up everyone else?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I always try to tell people when they go like, how do I get my team in insurance to perform good? And I always go, well, first you got to find out the people that are bringing everyone down and be willing to just leave them behind because they're just not going to do it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you got to find the ones that are the good teammates, and that's who you build a big agency with, and everybody ends up making a lot of money.
Facts.
You know, like you two, this is a good dynamic right here. You guys could build something freaking, you already have, but on the scale of how big FFL is going to get, you can build something massive.
Yeah, I feel it for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's the goal. And I think over time, just continuing to stay in contact. I mean, my grandfather passed, and he was one of the first people to hit me up. I'd never met him. So just building that relationship, I saw that. It was like, man, like, what could we do working together?
And like keeping it real though, like I kind of gave up on recruiting you because we just like we became cool, and it wasn't about if you join. It was like you cool dude, I'm cool dude. We're talking.
We're in business.
Yeah, let's network. But I didn't know he'd come one day. I knew he would. I knew he would.
Did you ever make jokes like that? Like, I know you're gonna come one day.
Well,
but...
yeah. So like I always would say that to him, and he wasn't ever saying no. He actually was doing really well though. So it was like, okay. And I said, hey, don't wait till you get hungry at the grocery shop. Don't wait till you get, like, a bad thing happen there. Then the look, just, like, come, be brave. And then, you took a jump and, worked out.
That's a big jump, though. Does your
It
wife
was.
work?
No.
Wife doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, because at first she said she was, like, kind of like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. She was like, no, absolutely not. Like, our life just changed dramatically. Like, we went from not being able to pay for bills, like asking my parents, and as a man, that's hard, right? Like, Mom, Dad, I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. Even when I got in sales, my brother, he actually cashed out me like $1,500 for rent and bills because I was about to give up.
Did you pay him back?
Yeah. And I told myself that day, I was like, I will never have to ask for money again, ever. And I haven't had to.
How fast you pay it back?
I mean, I think the next probably 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Dude, I never want to owe money to anybody.
Ever.
Me and Paul McLean bet on everything. Like, you name it, we're betting on it. And even if I owe him $20, I'm paying if that's what it ends up at, you know?
I hate owing money. That's the worst.
Yeah. So you started selling, you're killing it, making $200 to $300K a year, and you decided to walk. Your wife told you no. And what made you still do it?
So I didn't at first, right? So I told her about it, and I was just like, man, I can't do this. And she was like, good, don't. Like, we're good. And so I don't even think Claude knows this, but I saw he was such a helper. So my mindset at the time was, well, if we're going to be cool, I'll just take what he teaches me and I'll use it here, and we'll build the same thing over here, right? And over time, I was just like, man, I'm learning so much from this guy. He's not even recruiting me anymore. And my wife, she started looking into the videos. She started watching these podcasts. And she got interested.
How'd you get on these podcasts? Did Claude send them to you?
Yeah, he sent me some for sure.
And then you got hooked in the web of them.
I didn't. So I didn't want to look at them.
Oh, you didn't want to look at
yeah,
them? So he sent them to you, you didn't watch them?
Yeah, because if I looked at them, I knew I would come. So I was fighting it, right?
Why? Why'd you know? Did you have low commission or something? What was
Low
the deal?
commission. I mean, our most used product, I was making like 19% commission off of.
Okay.
So everything he was saying made sense. But to me, I was just like, I don't want to start over.
So good.
I don't want to start over. I felt like I was starting over. And so one day he told me, he was like, you're not starting over. It's still in the same industry. It's just different. Take what you know from over there, bring it over here, learn from over here, and grow. And so my wife, she was like, I'll get my license and I'll start over there and we'll see. And I was like, man,
Whoa.
Yeah. I promise
I
you.
didn't know that.
Yeah. So she was gonna start. So I called Clyde. I was like, yeah, my wife, she's interested potentially. And I don't think you like really thought she actually might do it. But so she was sending me videos like, man, I just watched this. I just watched that. She loves Vivian. Loves her.
Vivian is awesome.
She loves her. So she would send me those videos. She's like, man, she's pregnant and she just made XYZ this one. And so I was like, man, let me look into it. And what's crazy, I was actually, people that were interested in insurance because at the time I wasn't able to, I was making good money, but my team wasn't, right? So because of that, I stopped recruiting over there because I was like, I can't bring anyone in here that's not going to make money.
Why do you think you were making it and other people weren't? Because you were just over the top on commitment, like making it happen?
It's really hard in the beginning. Like here, I love that you want to make people money quick and you have a blueprint on how to do it. Over there, you almost, when recruiting, would tell them, hey, I hope, do you have 3 months of bills saved up just in case you don't make money for 3 months, right? So it's really hard to keep people there at, not making money for 3 months potentially. So for me, I struggled in the beginning as well. So to be able to have a higher commission, have a blueprint, have a focus of 20K in 30 days, it's going to happen, right? As long as you get the right people that are willing to do what you're supposed to do. So for me, I wasn't seeing that people weren't making money. It really bothered me, even though I was. So after that, I just kind of looked into it. And when people would ask me about insurance, like, hey, man, I hear you're doing great, I would send them to FFL. So it's probably 3, 4, 5 people that work here that I sent over here before I came over here. It's
Thank
crazy.
you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else, feel free to do that too.
All right. So something interesting, though, is sometimes when you got two companies, okay, and people are recruiting, trying to recruit each other, or they're competing, they don't like each other, right? But I think something important that we don't want to miss is Claude wanted you to win even if you were here or not.
Regardless.
And I think when you get to that point, the business is much more fun. And also, you're really caring about people. You're not hating another company.
Right.
Exactly.
And the CEO of Integrity, because Integrity is really impressive, okay? So they're partnering with all these businesses where if they were to acquire your business, you get ownership in Integrity as a whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this partnership comes together. Now, they took a lot of competitors, and now we're all on the same team of helping each other. So they saw that, and what they said that really hit me was this. People think that a lot of people in business think that if you win, someone has to lose, right? If you're doing good, he's got to be doing bad. And the whole goal is, or the reality is, everybody can win. And then when they were talking like that, it's like, dude, you never know what the future holds. So I've never wanted to make enemies with anybody that's in the insurance space because you don't know what the future holds.
Right.
Yeah.
So you might as well just wish them the best. And I have friends at other companies still now. I still want them to do good.
Yeah.
I still try to recruit them every time I talk to them.
Yeah.
And if I don't, we laugh. You know?
If they don't come on your team, they're crazy.
Yeah.
If they're selling insurance and still not coming, they probably just like to eat nasty jelly beans.
I think, especially for the people that, are making money, it's just hard to make that jump, right? You feel, and as hard as it was for me to admit it, I was comfortable, complacent, even though I'm not, like, I always want more, but I was just comfortable. And he exposed that. I didn't like
So
that
there's
feeling.
this African rain monkey, and they catch it because they drill a hole in the log. They put a nut in the log. The monkey goes in the log, grabs the nut, pulls his hand out the log. It can't come out. It won't let go of the nut. It gets captured because it won't let it go. A lot of agents are like that. They won't let go of what they already have, and they'll be captured for life. Let go of the nut. Let it go, and you'll be good.
That's what he told me.
That's true, though, right? Because
Now,
comfortable.
complacent, how'd
Yeah.
you feel being complacent?
I didn't know I was, honestly. I was that person that I'm a go-getter. I always want more. How can I help more people? How can I do more for my team? How can I do more for my family? But to see that this opportunity that made sense, I wasn't willing to go try it out, it let me know that I was complacent. It did. So after a while, it just made sense.
Now, you're pretty much brand new.
Yeah.
Like, you've been here 45, 60 days, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done since you've been here?
So over the last 5 weeks, submitted about 52K.
And what was it easy? Was it hard? You think some of your past experience helped you do that?
Right. I think some of the experience helped. I'm not going to say it didn't, but it's so different, and the biggest thing is just plugging in, and the blueprint is already there. It's there for you. You just got to do it. And I think the hardest thing with doing this originally, if you've done it in the past and you come over, you want to bring the baggage or the things that you think that worked over there. The blueprint's already there.
Did you come over when we went virtual?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Yeah.
He called me.
But what's legit about Austin is he went out in the field right away. Like,
But is that what did it?
Yeah.
That's what did it.
oh yeah, it was. So that was the thing
for
Makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah. So he, was telling me about it in the beginning, and I was like, man, going face to face, like I've never done that.
So
going
you're
to people's
smooth
homes.
on the phone.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but I think I got a lot to learn still.
Well, you wrote
He's
52
really good
Gs.
on the phone. Like,
He looks like he's good on the phone.
he's
though.
legit. He's legit. Like, he knows a lot. So, like, he'll text him in advance, call him down to the phone. He's like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's legitly a system. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should. Keep doing it.
Yeah, but when he told me, he was like, hey, man, telesales now. I was like, okay, I can't. What excuse do I have? I can't keep giving him excuses. And so I came over, but again, I just wanted to follow the blueprint. Like, you guys are super successful and didn't do telesales. Why would I come over here and try to go against the grain? So there wasn't a lot of content out about it or anything like that, right? So I came over, door knock, face-to-face, did that.
Make sales?
Yeah, made a couple. And Clyde was just telling me, he was like, if you do what you were doing before, you'll kill it. But I also knew I wanted to grow an agency and a massive agency. So I also wanted to have the experience of going out in the field and saying I've door knocked and got told I can't come in the home.
I like that.
There's a funny story. You call a guy for telesales. He didn't trust you. You go to his house. First time going to a dirty person's house. You've been there before. Small couch, dirty cats everywhere. First time he's seen it happen.
Was it like a hoarder?
Yeah, it was bad.
What
'cause,
happened?
The first thing you want to do is shoes on or off. So that's what I have been trained to do. So instead of saying shoes on or off, I said mask on or off. And he was like, oh, you can take it off. I was like, no, I'll just keep it on. And I walk in and I turn and I say, kitchen table. And I look and there's stuff all over it. So I was like, okay, I know I'm
Stand.
not. Yeah. So he sat on the couch and I stood up. I didn't sit down the whole time.
I always sit down.
I couldn't do it.
Did you sell it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So were you thinking, what did I get myself into?
Yes. Absolutely. I was like, what?
Did you already quit your old job?
Yeah.
But that happened.
Wait,
like,
what'd they
after he
say
made
when
sales.
you quit?
What did they say? Oh. I don't know.
You'll
if I
be
can-
back?
Yeah, I don't know if I
Did
can.
they say you'll be back?
I think they think that I'm going to come back.
Do you
I think they
you're
still
going
think
back?
I am. Huh? Am I going to go back? No. There's no way. There's no way. Absolutely not.
So you sold 50 G's over the phone in 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Legit.
And tell us like what that would take for someone to do. Like, what'd you do? What kind of leads did you use? How many hours? What type of headset do you have?
It's cordless. He has a big ass
Just
chair.
what kind of chair do you have?
So,
I want to know all this.
yeah, no. So, I mean,
What's your text follow up? Do you use Calendly to do that?
right.
Do you?
Yeah. So I use Calendly. So I do it a few different ways, right? So my main source is gonna be instant internet leads, right?
That's what you're selling.
Most of them, yeah.
Because some people say they can't close those.
That's because you're not working. It takes work. That's it. It's that simple. And it sounds crazy because I used to say the same thing. Like, you can't. There's no way you make that much money just from working, but you're just not working if you're not selling those. So I supplement the instant internet with a few live transfers.
What type of life transfers?
Like what company? All web leads, smart financial.
Nothing
Data
special.
No. I just ask people, hey, what are you doing? So I supplemented with that, but the prices have gone through the roof for the live transfers. So at my practice company, one thing that I used to do, I would buy age leads in bulk and send out text campaigns. So basically what I do, I'll buy age mailers and I'll just send them text messages. So, hey, this is for your annual review. Just wanted to follow up with you. I have availabilities tomorrow. What time works better for you, morning,
A
afternoon?
picture of the lead?
Yeah.
So you send a picture of the lead?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I just send that to them, and they respond back.
Because they can see they filled it out with their handwriting.
Exactly.
And you legit get a lot of responses.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched people
Dude,
like
you know how many leads we dude, I don't know if anyone has more leads than FFL right now.
Absolutely not.
2 million aged final expense leads for $1.50 a piece.
Yeah. I mean,
And you're turning them into new leads.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because to the person that fills it out, it could be a new lead because they fill out so many things every day. They don't know.
I got a question. Go ahead, actually. Finish.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like a person that fills out a lead, they fill out leads all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't
They probably
call and
filled out
say
another one.
it's old from 9 months. You filled it out. When did it? You know what I mean? You filled it out.
Yeah, that's what I used to say. You filled this out, and they fill stuff out all the time because that's a characteristic of people that fill out forms in the mail. They fill out forms in the mail.
Right. Yeah. So it's crazy. The annual review, I think that piques a lot of people's interest. And so they just respond morning, afternoon, and evening. I set down a time, and then we call them.
On the phone, and you're calling them. Okay, so I'm just intrigued by this because you have two complete opposite things. You have one person that's super negative, nothing works, and then you got you that can take these tools that people complain about and completely kill it. You think it's activity, or do you think it's also just their outlook on life as like, dude, they're attracting just stuff that is, I mean, it's like a mirror.
Right.
They're not happy. They're getting not people that are not happy. They're complaining. They're getting people that are complaining. They're just attracting this to their life. Do you think that's what's happening?
100%. I'm huge on mindset. I talk to people about that all the time. So I feel like here it's 50% mindset, 50% activity, right? So I preach on that a lot. Mindset and activity.
Claude, get that Android out of my office.
No worries. His other phone is an iPhone, so he's good.
50% mindset, 50% activity.
I believe so. And if you're constantly being negative, if you're constantly talking about what's not going right in life, guess what? It's in your mind so much that that's what you focus on.
Not only that, it's snowballing. It's going to keep coming.
Oh, exactly. So one thing that we talk about a lot, because Kobe fans, next win. You focus on that next win, you don't think about that. And hearing Sean Mike talk about if you have time to complain, if you have time to think about what's not going right in life, if you have time to think about what's not going right in business, you're not busy enough. So that's what I tell myself. Man, I didn't close it down. Get back on the phones and just keep going. So that's been my biggest thing, is just trying to stay positive, because it's a lot easier to hang up a phone on you than it is to kick you out of the house, right? So you're going to run into that. But just focusing on that next win. Don't get too high on your highs. Don't get too low on your lows. Just try to find that level ground. Try to find consistency in sales. That's the hardest thing. So,
do you feel like you're lucky?
I don't believe in luck.
Do you feel like you're lucky?
No, I put it in. I work.
I feel like I'm super lucky.
Well, you're in Vegas too. So.
I don't believe in luck, because nobody knows the sweat equity you put in over the years to get the success that you've gotten. And for you to be where you're at and still like, this is just the beginning, I feel like I'm just getting started. That to me is not luck.
Yeah.
It's not luck. It's not luck that you met this man. It's not luck that I'm here. It's you put the work in, you put the content out, you deserve
attracted it.
So the sum of every decision we make is us now right here at this point, right?
Yeah.
So some people, by the time we meet them, they want us to fix the sum of a whole bunch of bad decisions that they've made in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time working where I'm supposed to just fix stuff. Like I like to go, dude, I can't fix 20 years of bad habits. This is you starting a business.
Right.
And it takes a lot of work. Do you think how fast do you think somebody can change their situation if they really want to? And what do you think that would take?
Here you can change your entire situation in a week. Seriously. If you put the work in, it depends on what the issue is, right? So if your issue is financially, it can get changed in a week.
What'd you write last week?
21.
21. How what have your paychecks been?
So I got about 41,000. So
You got
21.
$41,000 in 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Working what hours?
So I normally start around 8 in the morning. And I normally till about 6 p.m., maybe at the latest 7. And then I do a lot of my recruiting from 7 to 9.
But
what kind of chair do you have?
It's like a gaming chair. It's black and red.
Do you do any gaming?
No.
What about you?
Nah. Back in the day, I played Madden before I got licensed. That was my thing. I was a Madden player.
Oh, I gotta play you.
I haven't played a long time, but I mean, it's the same thing. I'm
played.
legitly nice.
Yeah, you'll
sure
probably smash me. I'll still beat you. I'll still bet you though.
Let's bet. hey, trust me, I won't turn it down.
Yeah, I was a 2K guy because I played basketball.
I like
so
2K
it's
too.
realistic, you know. So it's like if you know how to play basketball. So if I played right now, I'd probably be decent still. But I haven't played.
Are you
video
6'4" in the
games.
game too?
I've never been 6'4" in my life. Every time I talk to him, I get taller. He
That's
says
good
I'm
though.
6'3".
He's hyping you up.
That's why you
6'4",
still 50 grand because you're 6'4". I mean,
That has nothing to do with it. Disclaimer: you do not have to be a 6'4".
The 41K deposits. What'd you spend on leads?
So, especially with the live transfers, right? So, you know, they're going up to about $100, $120. So my thought process is ROI, right? So, and something else that I focus on is how fast I can get to 100 appointments, because I hear that from you guys all the time. Don't focus on what has happened until you hit 100 appointments. So my thought process was, how fast can I get to 100 appointments? So I set a goal to do it in a month, and I did it. But I was buying about 6 live transfers a day. So I was investing about $2 to $3 grand a week in leads. But, you know, to have an ROI of 10, 15,000, I'll take that any day.
So if you did 2 to 3K a week, you spent $12,000. You deposited $41,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think you can clean that up
Absolutely.
and over time get the leads that are working really good, get away from some leads that aren't giving you a big ROI, and lower that lead cost?
Absolutely. So that's my focus now, because in the beginning, like I said, there was not much content, right? So I was
on
really,
virtual sales.
Exactly. Not much content, not much. I didn't even have a script. I just took his script that he was using at home and tried to do it over the phone. And every appointment, I learned something new. So I came up with power questions, things I'm asking on the front end. And so, like I was telling him, I think I closed 1 live transfer and then closed the next 7. And then after that, I'm at about a 45 to 48% closing ratio each week.
And what percentage of your sales would you say are internet leads, your outbound calling versus live transfers?
I would say now probably 80%. 80%. I don't really do many live transfers anymore.
You don't do because the cost?
Yeah, the cost is just crazy. When I first started, they were like $60. So my ROI wasn't as it was better, you know.
Now, if you're getting them really cheap somewhere, because I've heard agents say that, the problem is they're most likely not compliant,
Right.
and they're from another country, and you're
Right.
going to get in trouble,
Right.
because they're outbound calling all these seniors and transferring them to your phone,
Right.
and the seniors didn't authorize you to call them.
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
But one funny, interesting thing, you can tell me what you think about this. So there's a lead company that we get internet leads from.
Mhm.
And they asked if we would buy more internet leads so they could create more live transfers.
Mhm.
We were like, wait a second. You're just calling the leads
That's it.
that we could call?
Yep.
I'm like, why don't we just call them ourselves?
Exactly.
Have you thought about having a fronter call and transfer your own leads to you?
Yes.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. To get a few.
Oh, a few.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's doable. I mean, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you just do it yourself, save the money.
Exactly. So learning more, right? I'm able to make decisions like that. But from talking to people like you guys, it's like, oh, I could save a lot more money by doing that. And
Yeah.
so that's why I started doing the age mortgage. It's just
Now let's compare this to any other business though. How much money do you need? Actually, let's just compare this. How much money do you need to go to college?
a lot.
You went to college, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you spend?
Your scholarship?
I had scholarship.
You had a scholarship?
Yeah.
6'4". Told you.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, we're not all 6'4".
Yeah.
So what would someone normally spend to go to your college?
What college you go to?
Hundreds, thousands, I would say. I mean, I think most people when they graduate, they're 50, 60, 70, $100,000 in debt. So,
What college did you go to?
I went to a couple, but went up in New York for a little bit. Went to a school down in Alabama where I was from originally as well. So
What'd you get a degree in?
business management.
Nice. Right. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Is that a fun degree? It sounds
No.
boring.
it's super boring. And most people minor in science, so I didn't use. I mean, what am I gonna do with that?
Did you minor in science?
Yeah, I wish I would have been like you though.
What, just not go?
Yeah, come straight out of high school. Yeah.
But you know what? Like, kind of the same way, attraction, you probably had to go. You need to go. Get you some skills here today.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be here. We would have never met. All your past experiences
Yeah.
had to have happened.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No.
Aligned.
I think the biggest thing is not regretting anything, you know. If you focus on the positives that you learn through life, I think that's going to take you to the next level. So that's what I try to do.
Yeah, I love that. When you're calling a lead, what's your intro to go straight to a phone sale? Is it I'm calling to give you a quote?
Bring.
Yeah, so it's hey,
Andrew.
What's the guy?
I'd love to call him Adam because I normally don't call you by your name just so it's not weird. But hey, Andrew, this is Austin. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I recently received your request. I just wanted to give you a call back about the final expense request that you made.
I don't remember doing that.
Oh, got you. Okay, no worries. So my job is very simple. It's just to verify some information before your file closes out. It looks like here you put down your date of birth is 3/21/1989. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, are you still working full time? Are you disabled, retired?
Disabled.
Disabled. Got it. Okay. And as far as that goes, are you getting that on Direct Express card, or do you get that and straight to your bank account like most people?
What's this for again?
It's going to be for the benefit that if you get really sick or when you pass, the money will be left for your loved ones. And just to verify again, it looks like you put down your street address as 800 Main Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, is this for yourself, for your family? Are you married, widowed, divorced?
It'd be for my wife.
Wife. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Now, is your wife around?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so because it is for your wife, and I'm sure you'll be her
You
beneficiary,
do
right?
this right on the phone.
Yeah.
And you get the wife to come in.
Mhm. Yeah.
Legit.
So I'll just tell them, like, hey,
You got to
I'm-
get
I'm
the
sure-
wife.
I'm sure you're going to be the beneficiary, right? So for me to explain to you how the death claim would work in the future, I'll just explain it to both of you and knock it out really quickly.
Have you seen the Netflix show You? Have you?
Yeah.
Have you seen the season 3 one?
I've watched like one, maybe two.
Bro, that
episodes.
wife. Oh man, the wife is crazy, bro.
Yeah, my wife told
you?
me.
She'll just kill somebody if she hits on her husband or whatever. Just come dead, bro.
Where did that come from?
Well, because you were asking about wife, and I was gonna say you got to get the wife there because they'll close the deal for you.
Got you. I was getting nervous.
And then, and I was also joking around because I was role playing with someone else, and they were like, "Did you fill this out, or did your wife?" And I said, "My wife did, but she's kind of reminding me of the girl off of that show, You."
That's funny.
But I was totally kidding.
Yeah, but
Now, how often does the wife actually go, "Yeah, we need that," or like really get in there and go, "Let's just get this done"?
yeah. So normally because
Or the significant other,
right, so it's an instant internet lead, right? So normally they've recently filled out that request. So as long as you can get over those first couple of rebuttals, they're good. They're looking for it. But sometimes I'll run into it where the wife did it for the husband. I'm like, hey, not trying to get into anything, but I hope she's not trying to hurt you. She's looking for some life insurance for you.
Sleep with one eye open,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Just try to make them laugh. But yeah, normally, I mean, especially with the instant internet, it's good. They're just gonna give you a couple of rebuttals up front or a couple of objections up front, have a couple of rebuttals, and keep it moving.
Do you say anything like, "Hey, let's get this out of the way so you don't have to think about it anymore," or so you can, when you lay your head on the pillow at night, if you don't wake up, you know that your wife's taken care of, or vice versa? Do you say
Absolutely.
anything like that?
Yeah. So as I make my transition, that's kind of I figure out what their why is, and I say, hey man, so it's very simple. My job, we're just gonna go through some medical questions, see what you can qualify for. That way we can get this knocked out for you. I know you'll be able to sleep better at night, and I'm sure you're tired of getting all these phone calls, right?
Yeah.
And we just transition.
There's a
into it.
good one you do with getting them off the call list too.
Yeah. So
Folks say that a lot. Like, take me off the call list.
And you say what? I will if you let me go through this with you real quick.
It's legit.
Now, so I say, okay, perfect. Definitely can do that. What we can do is we can actually put you on the national do not call registry once we get this knocked out for you. Okay.
That one bit of adding value to the customer is like genius. Because they're like, yes, I want to be on that list. Thank you for helping me out with that list.
Yeah.
And you help him get on that?
No.
But he will next time.
No. I never do. Because
Well, if they
Do
fill
ever
out a
ask you?
lead,
They probably don't ask you no more.
if
either,
they
though.
ask me,
if they fill out a lead, even if they're on that list, they're still asking you to call.
exactly.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it just depends. If they're adamant about it, like at the end, like, all right, don't forget about that call list. Yeah. But normally I don't. They forgot.
Well, all they got
about
to
it.
do is like text a number or something.
That's
you
it.
could Google it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you do it, you can just put their number in. It's going to send them an email. They have to respond to it within 72 hours. And that's what I tell them. So, yeah, some people I do, but most people I don't.
Because they forget. Because they have big about
Now,
insurance.
so this is a big selling point. If we, like when you call someone and you use, look, I don't want to call you anymore.
Right.
Let's just get this out of the way so we can close your file.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work?
Yeah. I
That's-
use that all the time.
That's the intro.
Dude, when people used to say, stop calling me, I go, well, if you let me get you the information, I can stop calling you. But if I stop calling you and you don't, I'm going to get fired probably.
What they say.
So I'll see you Tuesday at 6.
All right, come on by.
Dude,
Right.
Sean Mike had a podcast way back in the day called Tuesday at 6. And every objection he would get, he'd go, see you Tuesday at 6.
That's legit. Look at that.
I love it.
Tuesday at 6.
This
yeah.
is old, like from our old company, old. Someone's got the copy of it. Frankie Euphemia has it if you want to get it. He has a copy of it.
Tuesday at 6.
Tuesday at 6.
I'll have to add that to the list.
That's interesting, man. Now, how often do they try to brush you off, get off the phone, but you keep them on by using, stuff like that?
A lot. Because, everybody's busy, right? But my mindset with that is, if somebody called you right now, would you answer the phone?
No, someone's calling me right now. I can feel it in my pocket.
Well, if somebody called you right now, would you answer?
Nah, because I'm really busy.
Right. So if you're that busy, you wouldn't have answered the phone. So what I do is throughout the presentation, I'm consistently reminding them, hey, man, I know you're extremely busy. Don't want to take up too much of your time. We're almost done, right? So every time I transition into something else, I throw that back at them, and they feel like they're not on the phone that long.
It's kind of like this. So a long time ago, I went to this. Drew, do you remember the branding iron?
The BI.
The BI.
Oh yeah.
It's the first time I've ever heard you call him Drew.
Yeah.
This
So
TV show should come.
So check this out. So this is our hometown. Everyone would go on college night. You don't have to be 18 to get in. Wednesday nights, right? And this was like an hour from where we lived, our hometown. This place would be packed, a blast, right? Well, one night I needed a ride home, and so me and my brother asked these two random chicks to drive us home down the street, but we were really an hour away, right? And then we just kept saying, it's like 10 more minutes down the freeway.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And then an hour later, they're like, dude, we just drove an hour.
They're nice.
Nah, I love it. That's what I do with my kids. Anytime we go on a road trip, 10 minutes down the road, that's a road trip to them.
But on
Are we
the
there
phone
yet?
call, you go, hey, we're almost done.
Yeah.
But you do try to get it done pretty quick. How long does it take?
It depends on how many questions they have. So like, and that's what I tell them. How long is this going to take? Take maybe 10 minutes at the most, but it just depends on how many questions you have.
Oh, I like that. We're almost done. It just depends on how many questions you have.
Which is true. Because they just say, yes, I'll buy her social. Here's routing, here's
Yeah,
account.
it doesn't take
Good.
long.
Are people weird about giving social, driver's license number?
So what I do, I try to verify as much information up front. So I'm asking email address, street address, birthday, and then I just kind of throw in social real quick. But I make it kind of like just conversational, right? So we're just talking about whatever, kids, whatever. Oh yeah, and real quick, what's your social? Okay. There's some people there, why do you need that? And I just, they got to verify you are who you say you are through your social, and we don't want them checking for somebody, Andrew Taylor, and he's super unhealthy and you get declined, right?
Boom. See, and that's logical though, right? Because that's a logical explanation, not just salesperson one-on-one running through you. That's like logical. Have to verify.
And you're not
you.
doing Zoom or nothing.
So yeah, no, not really. When I first started, I was doing a lot of screen shares. I use a crank wheel. So if they're younger and they ask for it, like, hey, I'll give them an option. I say we can do it one or two ways. One, we can just do everything over the phone. Some people are visual people that like to see me as I input information in. It's completely up to you. Which one would you prefer? And if they say I'm a visual person, I want to see it, I send them a link. They click on the link and they can see my screen. But I don't use Zoom.
Now, Calendly, how are you using that? Because I think a lot of people are missing the boat on this. Like, they don't have the right information of how effective this tool is.
Like to schedule appointments and send a reminder.
The text, the email, auto reminding, all that stuff.
Right. So what I do for that, especially with the age mailers, because most of that's coming through text, right? We're texting, schedule an appointment. I'll put them on the Calendly link, and it's going to send them a text. It's going to send them an email, and it's going to remind them of our appointment. Then when they get it, they normally respond, hey, 30 minutes. Okay, I'll be ready. They text me, so I'm like, okay, we're good.
So if you text someone, do they schedule their appointment themselves or no?
So I asked them morning, afternoons, or evenings, right? So I'm trying to funnel.
They respond.
They respond with mornings. Okay, perfect. I have a 9 a.m. I have an 11:15.
Then you put them in Calendly.
Mm-hmm.
You're inputting their info.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing all of its automation.
Yeah,
30-minute before, and then your show ratio is going through the roof.
absolutely.
What's the message say?
So it depends. Depends on what type of appointment it is. But normally it's just something simple. Hey, Andrew, just wanted to remind you about our appointment in about 30 minutes. Please respond if you can't make it or something like that. Look forward to speaking with you. Something simple.
I think the simpler the better, so there's no confusion.
Yeah. And you don't want it to look robotic or animated, even though it is
Yeah.
animated, automated.
Automated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not smart.
You hear about the Metaverse?
Yeah.
Thinking about-
Metaverse.
Taylor, I watched that last night when I
Did you
downloaded
freak out, bro?
Dude, so when I watch these kind of tech things, it was, oh my God.
They're
Metaverse?
They're renaming
Facebook
to Meta, right?
to Meta, and they're building this virtual world that you can own property in, you can sell stuff in, have stores in, meet people in, have a house. Bro, it
I
is.
was mind blown, dude. And I thought the Apple Glass, I was mind blown. But watching that.
Yeah, we got way too into this. But
Did
I
you
also
buy
have
into
a
property
theory,
on it?
and I should say it on the. I've been kind of scared to say it because I think people might think I'm crazy, but I have to say it so people can say, "Damn, that actually happened."
Yeah.
You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. So this whole metaverse thing, like you can actually, once it's done, they're claiming you can go there. You can actually like feel like you're really there.
Okay.
So have you guys seen like the goggles that you can wear and
VR.
Yeah, VR goggles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already like a version of it, but you can go there, you can actually feel, and it feels like you're literally sitting there at a table, but you don't leave your house. You're like locked in with these goggles. You could like box and do all kinds
Can
of
you
stuff.
meet your spouse on there?
Of course, bro.
They be legit.
Yeah. So imagine Tinder, but you're just in the same room like 10 minutes later.
By yourself, though.
Clyde's single, by the way.
Yeah. By yourself.
Dude, you could go on like 2,000 dates in a week.
That's a goal.
Imagine running your appointment like that.
So one day you'll be running your appointment like that for sure.
That's crazy.
I don't know. If I could figure out how to buy some property in there, Drew, let me know.
Yeah, because
I'm doing it.
That's yeah, I don't know how.
I love it.
Yeah.
A lot of technology for you.
My friend was like, "It's not a real place." I was like, "Yeah, it is." Like you can own property in this virtual world.
Yeah.
Is it real or not?
Hey, whatever's in your mind is real, right?
I don't know.
It costs real money. It's real. It costs real money.
If you think about that, you'll never run out of places to buy property and
Bro, one of
build.
the scenes, Drew, can you pull that up real quick while we're talking?
The video.
Yeah, and go to the like you visiting Rome thing. Like, dude, it's not only places you can go, it's times. You could go to like Rome back in the day and visit.
I
can't go everywhere back in the day though.
I want to go back in the 90s.
So I gotta come ready to go.
Go back to a Tupac concert.
Yeah, that's before your time.
Yeah, for sure.
When Tupac was alive, how old were you when you were?
I don't know. I was
he
born
died
in
when I
93.
was in
You were
seventh
28.
grade. Nice joke. I got that. 7th grade, I think he passed away. R.I.P. Pac.
I was born in 93. I know.
Dang,
It was
that's crazy.
I think he died in 96.
Something like that. I remember.
I just watched
What,
City
what part
Talk.
here?
Drew, find the part where you go back and visit Rome.
What year you born?
Can you turn the TV up?
Oh yeah,
On?
Alexa. Turn
I was born in
cinema on.
'89,
You know.
but I've always been fascinated with the Tupac Biggie
Yeah.
situation. Have you seen the movie City Talk?
Mm-mm.
It's like based on a true story
I'll watch it though.
version of someone in the LAPD, a police officer's story of what happened. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
And basically, like, there was a bunch of cops, LAPD
Dirty.
cops that were really,
Of course.
yeah. But what it reminds me of is somebody came in here and said that their company sent them to learn about FFL,
Yep.
and they started working here, and they have a big team here.
Like an informant.
Yeah, but you got to be careful if you send someone to FFL to learn about it because you probably will end up working here.
Wow. Someone sent their team member here. That's kind of stupid.
Adriel, can you pull this up on the screen?
Is it not on there?
No, I'm saying like for people watching, will they be able to see this?
Yeah.
The crazy thing, that's what I like about FFL. You don't have to send an informant, right? Because everything is everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
That is true.
You guys train, like everything is everywhere.
Show them.
I don't remember. This thing was long, so I'm just trying to remember where it was at.
Just show them that part. Look at this.
Okay.
No, if that.
I was gonna say that looks like a video game.
Yeah. Well, gaming is a big
gaming
part
is
of.
Yeah.
Virtual reality.
All right.
A lot of you are already using Quest to maybe
All right. Look, this lady's on her bike,
train with the best.
but in the virtual world, she's gonna be with all her friends. Or this dude you could literally.
Don't be scared this time.
So sick.
Do you just tell it like your mind is telling it what to do,
Bro,
or do you actually have to act it
You
out?
got-
Metaverse, man.
You got to watch the video. Drew, fast forward to the part where somebody visits Rome. You could go visit places in time. Let's see. Right.
Right, I just saw it.
Yeah.
Was that here?
Or in a
Thanks, Mark. We'll see you in a minute. Just write this paper part of this.
Wow.
Oh, that's a trippy part.
If you could go anywhere,
Look at this.
Ancient Rome. Imagine standing on the streets, hearing the sounds, visiting the markets,
crazy.
to get a sense of the rhythm of life over 2,000 years
That is
ago.
going back in time and we're gonna get.
Imagine learning how the Forum was built by actually seeing
Wow.
the Forum get built right in front of you.
Imagine how many people don't have life insurance back then.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marnie.
All right.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Can we go sell back then to people? Anyways, that was kind of off topic, but that's trippy, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine like a phone room in there?
That'd be legit.
If you could go anywhere, where would you go?
I don't
Back
know.
in the day.
I'd have to think about that. Like if I had the option to go anywhere,
Yeah.
I'd have to think about that.
I think I would travel outside of space though.
Yeah. That's,
Outside of space?
that,
Yeah.
or, that or like.
Not out of space,
prehistoric
outside of that.
times.
Like where?
Times.
I don't know.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think anybody knows what that
It's
is.
called a black hole.
All right, I'm not going there. I'll go out of space. We'll go hit Pluto.
All right, so
That rap song?
let's
Listen to country.
so first of all, congratulations on your success. We want to have you back in what, 6 months
Let's do it.
and see where you're at.
Okay.
Early success sometimes scares me because there's so many things that can happen
Absolutely.
and that you are also going to have to overcome, right? Agents quitting on you, chargebacks. I mean, it still happens
Right,
here, right? So I'm interested to see where you're going to be in 6 months. I want to wrap up with a couple of things. First, if someone wanted to join your team, how could they reach out to you?
Cell phone 256-394-7528. It's probably the best way to reach me, or you can just message me on Instagram, a.j.jones22. That's probably the second best way.
Okay. And then the other thing I want to ask, because you guys mentioned Kobe a few times.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Is there, and I almost like have a hard time talking about Kobe because it's so sad,
Yeah.
you know? But what are some things that you guys were inspired by, the way he acted, things he did, or things he said?
You want to go first or me?
So Kobe was big on giving himself quiet time. And I think with the technology world and always being sold or pulled at to be in that silent space and be one with your thoughts is powerful. So I do that every morning, where I just sit in silence for a while. Also, my favorite quote, rest at the end, not the middle. Rest at the end, not in the middle. Because that's a big trap. Oh, I should have did it. And well, rest at the end, not the middle.
Yeah. I love that.
I think for me, hard work, it overshines any lack in skill that you have, right? So if you work hard enough at something, even though you're not the most skilled, you're going to outwork everybody. You're going to be better than most people. So just seeing him and how he wasn't the most skilled growing up, but he outworked everybody. That's what got him to that level. That's one thing I appreciate about Kobe is he worked for everything that he got. And so I just try to emulate that. So, you know, you say early success, I still feel like I'm just getting started. So I'm just trying to work, you know, like you said, there's going to be things that are going to come up, and I know that. And
That you got to overcome.
Yeah,
There always
absolutely.
is.
Always. And I tell people, and I got this from Clyde, when you are new, there's two things that are going to happen when you work. You're either going to have some trauma or you're going to have some success. And I prefer you have the trauma on the front end and make your way through that to get to success. But at the end of the day, when you just put enough work in, whatever you want, that's what you're going to get.
I love that. Did you ever hear that Kobe like didn't put up with people that wouldn't work hard or even want to be around him or wouldn't even let him eat at the same table as him?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard that?
Dwight Howard had a hard time initially with Kobe because he was, some would say prima donna, wanting more clout than what he deserved. And Kobe was like, yeah, let's win a game.
Yeah.
Or what about when he would be like, dude, if people didn't go to practice early, have you heard that?
Yeah.
That he like wouldn't, he'd be nervous to play with them.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be learned about building your own team.
Mm-hmm.
From if you set the bar that high, people will elevate and they'll start to perform better because of the expectations that you give them. Right?
Absolutely.
I agree.
And I think that's what he was best for, setting those high expectations and putting the work in. So you couldn't say that, oh, you just setting a high expectation for me. You're putting the work in. You're the one that's waking up 3:30, working out every morning. So that's just what I try to do.
One thing I recently started doing is getting up at 4 and making sure I spend like 2 hours with Atlas and Nicole if I'm in town,
Yeah.
of like legit spending time with them. And I like what you said, rest at the end. Cause dude, I don't want to sleep in and then not have time, go to work, not have time for people, and then not have time for your own family. And the cool thing is you can do it if you plan your schedule right. If you're strategic with your schedule,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, especially for a family. Like I said, I have 2 young kids, wife. You know, to exert so much energy into the business and come home and not give her the same energy is not fair.
Yeah.
As well as for my health. So working out, you know, he's huge on getting up early, doing something hard.
Yeah.
I've
Claude
never.
likes to box. Have you boxed him yet?
No, he keeps trying to fight me though. I'm kinda
Nah,
nervous.
he's 6'4", dude.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. But he's big on doing something hard. So first thing I come over, because I realized I was comfortable, right? I said, man, I hate running, Clyde. I'll never run a mile ever. And now every morning, that's my goal.
You run a mile?
Yeah,
I just
1 mile?
yeah.
Just one. But the kids run the whole way.
Yeah.
Don't stop at all.
Not jog?
No, I mean jog, run, but don't walk at all. And that's, I mean, I guess easy for you.
What does that take you? 7, 8 minutes?
I do it in like 8.5, 9 sometime. It depends.
So yeah,
I talk while I do it, so 9.5, 10 depends.
dude, that's so huge though. 8 minutes of your day change your whole freaking life.
And that's what I told myself. 8 to 10 minutes, right? To change everything. You got the hardest thing out of the way. Everything else is going to be easier.
Yep.
If you believe if you work out, break a sweat, you'll be happier.
I believe you get a victory, and when you win, usually makes you happy. So I think so. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think opening up your pores just does something to your body.
it does something, man. Cause I'm happiest if I can do that early in the morning,
Right.
and I do it right. That's the best days I have.
Yeah.
Agree.
I believe it.
agree.
And do it early. Don't procrastinate. Get it out of the way. It's got to happen one way or another. Might as well do it early.
Yep.
Can I work out with you tomorrow morning?
Sure, let's do it.
My goal was to make him laugh. I did it.
You always
Let's
laugh.
do it. You guys ever play racquetball?
Never.
I'm nice.
Are you good?
I'm nice. Inside, right, with the hand on the
Yeah.
wall, I'm nice. I'm elite.
Normally when people say
No
that,
cap.
they're not.
I know, but Claude,
I'm pretty good in that. I ain't gonna lie. That I am good in.
Racquetball?
Yeah. Indoors, you hit this way, that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm good enough. I mean, I'm not like a pro or anything. I have no scholarship in it. I'm not 6'4" or anything. But I'm pretty decent.
I've never played
I'm all about volleyball.
really?
I love volleyball.
beach volleyball
Yeah, beach
or
volleyball.
beach.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I didn't. What about pool volleyball?
I mean, any volleyball.
I love
man.
that.
What about pool basketball?
Ooh,
I'm decent.
dunking on him.
Bro, we played with Sean, Mike, and Twardowski.
Probably fouls a lot.
Who?
Sean.
John's a big
Foul,
guy.
bro. Foul is an understatement.
Are there fouls in pool
No,
basketball?
that's
though?
why it's fun.
Yeah.
Dude, Josh Crenshaw got a concussion from that game,
I'm sure.
but he got it from hitting his own head on the side.
But, yeah.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
bro, fun though.
Note to self: don't play beach or pool,
Pool basketball.
with Andrew Taylor.
Dude, I did the least damage.
Those are your rules, though.
The
Yeah,
rules
those
are
the
there
rules that you
are no
made.
rules.
I know.
No rules. That's why I retired.
Dude,
First
Twardowski's
rule
a
about Fight
horse,
Club.
bro. I fouled him where I was trying to choke him out, and he still dunked it.
Big.
He is an animal.
That's funny.
Don't guard Twardowski.
I'm good.
I'm retired from sports.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our new sport.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah, for sure. Get
Some-
the same feeling, that same high.
Yeah, somebody told me Mark Cuban said he loves business because it's a sport and there's no shot clock.
That part.
So you can win, you can lose, but it ain't over, you know?
That's big.
I love that.
And that's how this is. Something can happen, but it ain't over.
Yeah, I agree with that because, like MJ said, he never lost. He just ran out of time.
Yeah.
Here, you don't.
That's huge.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just that mindset shift.
Yeah. Well, dude, anybody watching, I think they'd be crazy if they don't work with you guys. So call them if you're watching. Join our team. Thank you guys for joining us.
Sir, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Looking
having
forward
me.
to see what you guys do in the future.
Absolutely.
Claude, what are you doing a month now?
Agency, 2.1 mil last month.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do 5 January.
5 million.
By January, it's possible.
It is possible because you have more outlets recruiting, you have more outlets hiring. It grows faster the bigger it gets.
Yeah, and Austin talked about himself in a good way just now, but his team's on fire. They're catching up. You know, Paige, shout out to Paige, shout out to Thomas, Paul, to Caleb. You know, Jill. People are catching up. They're starting to get in their second win when they're breaking a sweat now. So they're figuring it out. So
Yeah.